Hello and greetings, my friend, once again for another one of my sample workout videos in my upcoming beautiful strength program, all about utilizing calisthenics to build an aesthetically attractive physique. Today we are looking at push chain, chest, shoulders, triceps. This is a little different from what I showed you earlier, which is a little bit more single joint focused. This is going to be more compound movement focused with two basic exercises making the bulk of the workout. We're warming up with our shifting push-ups here, and I'm really focusing again on my scapular stability. Always been kind of a little bit of a weakness of mine, implementing some twisting back and forth, making sure that my shoulders are away from the ears, getting a little bit of a stretch, opening up my shoulders, which are usually fairly stiff and tight as well. Again, looking at just what your body needs during a warm-up. So the first of these exercises are dips. And again, I like to do these on suspension straps for the simple reason that they are much more difficult typically than solid bar dips. There's not a whole lot of technical progressions that we would use when it comes to making dips harder, unlike things like push-ups and pull-ups and other basic compound calisthenics exercises. So utilizing dips here on the straps is a fun way to make them more challenging, but not so unstable that they're going to compromise your ability to challenge the work capacity in your chest, shoulders, and triceps in order to hopefully stimulate hypertrophy. Focusing on range of motion, not bouncing out of the bottom position, maintaining constant tension in my chest and my shoulders, as well as, of course, my back for stability. Speaking of back for stability, making sure that I've got a little bit of upper back engagement here for my elevated dive bomber push-ups. Really pleased with how I'm getting a little bit more vertical on the top position here. Usually I'm at much more of an angle. It means that my shoulders are getting a little bit more confident with the movement. Vertical presses have always been kind of a linchpin for me in my physical development. You can see throughout the years a lot of my physique, like photos and stuff with my shirt off. It's like, okay, I've got a chest, and my arms are developing, and my shoulders were always lagging behind. And that was due to a lack of shoulder stability, because you're only as strong as you are stable. So improving the shoulder stability here is really the gateway towards being able to push your muscles to a much higher degree. Second set here on the dips, taking just a moment to ensure, again, I've got tension in my chest, in my back, shoulders, triceps, always setting the tension before applying resistance. You don't want to make the mistake of assuming that the exercise will make your muscles do what you want them to do. Instead, the exercise is merely the application of muscle tension. So I always take a moment to ensure I've got the tension set, and I'm fatiguing faster on this because with each set, I'm pushing myself to a high degree of fatigue. Not necessarily failure in the first or second set, but really pushing to a high degree of that burn, that red zone that we want to have that's challenging our muscular work capacity, because that is what is heavily correlated with a stimulus for hypertrophy. Getting whatever repetitions I've got. Remember, you never train the same body twice. Sometimes you can do more reps, sometimes you can do less reps. Sometimes you can handle more resistance, sometimes you just don't quite have it in the tank. So feel free to adjust and adapt your workout according to what you're bringing to the table. So if you have more, do more. If you have less, don't worry about it. I'm getting a lot of range of motion there, still trying to keep my elbows in nice and tight. And I'm really pleased with how much I'm engaging my triceps with these as well. Usually I've had trouble with keeping my triceps working very well with compound pressing movements, and that's certainly been something that I've felt a greater degree of in the past several months especially. So now I'm just using whatever I've got left. I'm utilizing 3 basic sets for the dips and the kind of dive bomber push-ups, but use whatever number of sets you feel is appropriate for you to bring the muscles towards kind of this state here, a good kind of grind rep once or twice. It could be 2 sets, it could be 5 sets. I'm never really dogmatic about sticking to a single number of sets or a certain amount of work. You don't get results from how much work you do. You get results by how much of a stimulus you create. And sometimes you can create more of a stimulus, generally correlated with more work. Sometimes not so much. Again, use what you have. and just getting what I can here, really trying to emphasize a lot of weight on my hands, not pulling myself up with my hips as much as I can. I'm trying to make my arms and my shoulders and my back do all of the work, which of course is going to burn out and work the muscles to a much higher degree. We don't want to just compensate our tension control and our technique for the sake of reps. And usually I like to end with some tricep extensions and chest flies and stuff, but I was really surprised here with how much my muscles were already burned out, which was very good. That meant that I was using those muscles to a much higher degree in the compound movements. So I don't really have a whole lot in the tank for being able to utilize these muscles much in these single joint stuff. I could probably even have just foregone the whole thing entirely. Instead of the tricep extensions, this is a little bit more of the tricep press, keeping the elbows a little closer to the torso, just getting a few basic simple repetitions. My muscles are already pretty good and fried, so these techniques really aren't doing a whole heck of a lot, probably in creating a stimulus. It's just kind of a belts and braces approach, ensuring I get kind of a bit of a satisfying pump with the chest and the triceps, feeling good about the exercise and the workout as a whole, but certainly not at all necessary. So stay tuned, folks. I'm going to be doing more workouts, more full body workouts coming too. So be fit and live free.